My roommate finally dropped the act. He publicly announced that he was the heir to the Georgezilla Group. My girlfriend, who looked down on me for being poor, immediately broke up with me and ran straight into the arms of my rich second-generation roommate. What she didn't know was, I'm my dad's only son, and that rich kid she clung to. He's just a scholarship student sponsored by my family. Chapter 1. It was senior year, and during my internship, my dad forced a company onto me to manage. I pouted. What's a rich heir to do if he doesn't want to work hard? I pushed open the door to our dorm. The loud chatter inside instantly came to a halt. Makoto shot a disdainful glance at the takeout in my hand. He sneered and said, George, we're about to graduate. Can't you eat something decent for once? These sad steamed buns and chicken feet, you've been living off this crap for 4 years and you're still not sick of it. I wasn't about to let him get the last word, so I shot back. Seriously, you've been wearing that fake gold watch for 4 years and haven't gotten tired of it either. When I first saw him wearing that thing freshman year, I was speechless. It was clearly fake, but I couldn't be bothered to expose him at the time. Makoto's face darkened as he pointed at me. Don't talk nonsense. I bought this from an official store. I casually pulled out a magnet and slapped it on the watch. Cue awkward moment. The magnet clung tightly to the watch. The silence was painfully awkward. Makoto's face flushed bright red, all the way to his neck. Grinding his teeth, he tried to save face. So what? It's just a cheap watch. We've got boxes of gold bars at home. One of our bootlicking roommates quickly chimed in. Exactly. Makoto's dad is the CEO of a listed company. He can have whatever he wants. I watched as Makoto threw the fake watch into the trash. I asked, not short on cash? Huh. Then how come I've never seen you use anything actually valuable? And that watch, after 4 years of wear, it's practically fused to your wrist. Makoto glared at me like he wanted to kill me. Another roommate jumped in to defend him. You don't get it. Rich people like to keep a low profile. Makoto immediately followed up. Yeah, my dad's always telling me to stay low-key. George, instead of keeping tabs on me, maybe you should focus on finding a company for your internship. Not all of us are lucky enough to join our family business after graduation like I am. No matter how hard he tried to sound casual, the smugness was obvious. From the first year of college, it's always been my dad this, my dad that. 4 years in, and none of us had ever figured out who this mysterious dad actually was. Chapter 2. My phone rang. It was my girlfriend calling. As I stepped out the door, I deliberately tossed a Phoenix Tower takeout bag into the trash. One of my roommates spotted the logo and excitedly fished it out. Holy crap, is this from Phoenix Tower? I heard the food there is insanely expensive. Makoto's expression instantly darkened. He clenched his teeth and said, must be a knockoff bag. No way he could afford Phoenix Tower. Everyone knows he's just a broke simp living off his girlfriend. The guy hasn't been able to feed himself for 4 years without her bailing him out. Pathetic. The other roommate nodded in agreement. After all, George never looked like a rich guy during our 4 years in college. Standing by the door, I frowned at their words. Excuse me. When did I ever live off Willow? I spent plenty of money on her. Thank you very much. Willow, I'm over here. I waved her over, but as soon as she approached, she snapped at me. George, can you not act so excited every time you see me? And seriously, look at what you're wearing. It's embarrassing. I was speechless. I mean, this outfit was custom designed by Master Leon himself, baggy shorts and tank top combo. I thought it was pretty chill. She huffed. I can't even stand being around you for 1 more minute. Let's break up. Makoto said he could get me a job at his family's company. He's the only one who deserves someone like me. I gave a cold laugh and agreed to the breakup without hesitation. Willow's face turned ugly. She expected me to beg her to stay, but I didn't. That infuriated her even more. The next day, at Georgezilla Group, I unexpectedly caught sight of 2 very familiar figures, Makoto and Willow. Shouldn't they be at his family's company at this hour? Why were they here? Makoto spotted me at the door and sneered. What are you doing here? The Georgezilla Group isn't some place just anyone can walk into, I replied. I thought you said you were going to work at your dad's company. Don't tell me this is your dad's company. Makoto gave me a smug look, like I wasn't completely clueless. I was speechless. I was joking, but Makoto actually went along with it. Willow clung to his arm like a little lovebird and chimed in. I only love Makoto. Don't embarrass yourself here, just go find a construction site to work at or something. I still thought this had to be some kind of joke, until Makoto pulled out a photo of him with my dad. My brain short-circuited. That really was my dad in the picture. Chapter 3. I couldn't even focus on work after that. I drove straight to the Georgezilla Group HQ. After asking around, I finally got the truth. Makoto was one of the students my dad had sponsored. I sipped my tea and asked, so, he's not actually some rich second-gen heir? My dad shook his head. He told me Makoto had 4 younger siblings back in the mountains, and he planned to keep supporting them through school as well. He showed me the original photo, same one Makoto had shown me, except this version had Makoto's entire extended family in it. Turns out, Makoto had deliberately photoshopped his version. I told my dad all about Makoto's behavior at school. He was furious. I quickly calmed him down. Don't get angry, I'll handle it, just play along with me when the time comes. Meanwhile, back at our school forum, that photo of Makoto and my dad was being reposted like wildfire. Everyone now believed Makoto was the heir to the Georgezilla group. When I returned to the dorm, I heard my roommates showering him with praise. Makoto, I can't believe your dad is the chairman of Georgezilla group. You really kept that hidden well. Men. Makoto basked in their admiration, loving every second of it. I pushed the door open. Makoto shot me a dismissive look and said, George, let me guess, didn't get into Georgezilla group, did you? One roommate jumped on the chance to suck up to him. Someone like him, please. Georgezilla group would never hire that kind of loser. He probably got kicked out before he even reached the front gate. I posted the original photo, straight from my dad, into the dorm group chat. Makoto glanced at it, not showing a hint of panic. He coolly said, that's from 5 years ago, when I went with my dad to visit a poor rural area. What's the issue with a photo like that? I almost swore out loud. This guy really wasn't going to stop until he hit rock bottom. Chapter 4. That evening, I had dinner plans with a few friends at Phoenix Tower, and once again, I ran into Makoto and Willow. This time, I was decked out in designer brands, and I clearly saw the surprise flash across Willow's eyes. Makoto smugly bragged to me. A girl like Willow, a real rich heiress, isn't just going to fall for anyone. We're perfectly matched. Rich heiress. If she were really from a rich family, would she be constantly finding excuses to make me spend money on her? One day she was hungry, the next her phone credit ran out. Then she had nothing to wear, or ran out of makeup. She even asked me to buy her a gift for Ancestors' Day. I smirked. Rich heiress, that's hilarious. The line was loaded with sarcasm. I walked past them, head held high. Willow hadn't snapped out of her shock yet. She frowned and muttered, what's with him? He looks like a completely different person, almost like he's actually rich. Makoto brushed it off, saying it was all for show, and added magnanimously, tonight, I'm treating you to the most expensive items on the menu. Willow's expression softened, and she nodded happily. But when the bill came, 15,000 yuan, Makoto, whose entire budget was only 300, shot up from his seat like a spring. He gasped. It's that expensive? Willow awkwardly tugged him back down. I told you already, didn't I? This place is pricey. Makoto looked uneasy. Willow, I just remembered, my credit card's maxed out today. Could you cover it for now? After a bit of awkward back and forth, Willow reluctantly decided to use her family card. But the next moment, she was greeted with a message, card cancelled. Frustrated, she pulled out her personal debit card, the same card she had slowly saved up on throughout 4 years of college, by mooching off me. The way she reluctantly punched in her PIN, like parting with her soul, was broadcasted right on our private booth's TV screen. After everything she took from me, if I didn't make her cough it all up, I wouldn't be George. That night, I got a call from Willow, asking me to come downstairs. She demanded to know why I unlinked her from the family card. I laughed. What's wrong? I thought you were some high-class heiress. Why would you care about my measly little card? Willow's face twisted, and she started whining. I don't care what you say, you're paying me back for that dinner, I said. Excuse me, and who are you exactly? Am I your dad? Why would I reimburse you? Willow screamed. If you hadn't shown off in the dorm about eating at Phoenix Tower, Makoto wouldn't have taken me there. If he hadn't taken me there, I wouldn't have had to use the family card. And if you hadn't cancelled the card, I wouldn't have paid with my own money. As she yelled, she grabbed my arm and refused to let go, insisting that I take responsibility. I laughed out of sheer disbelief, then slapped her hand away. How did I not realize before that she was such an idiot? I met Willow in the library. The way she studied so seriously reminded me of someone I used to know. Chapter 5. The counselor announced in the group chat that the school would be holding a sports meet tomorrow. He also mentioned that 2 big-name CEOs from City A, Georgezilla Group and the Sioux Corporation, had been invited. Our dorm's resident bootlicker got way too excited. From my bunk bed, I could see the smug little smile on his face. If you didn't know better, you'd think his dad was the one coming, he said. Makoto, look, your dad's coming to the school event. A flicker of unease crossed Makoto's face, and I caught it. I asked, what's wrong? Not happy your dad's coming. Before he could respond, the bootlicker cut in. Makoto's just too happy, obviously. Don't talk nonsense. Yeah, screw you too. Makoto stepped out with his phone, probably to call my actual dad. Sure enough, he returned not long after. I opened WeChat and saw a message from my dad. Makoto just called me. I did exactly what you said. So, how's that, son? Your old man nailed it. Right. I replied with a big fat, awesome meme. Then came another message. By the way, Anna's coming to the school event too. I was lying on my bed playing with my phone. Thunk, the phone dropped square on my face. She's back in the country. The phone rang. When I saw the name flashing on the screen, I swallowed hard and picked up. Trying to sound casual, I said, Anna, what's up? No reply. Then, after a long pause, did you get a girlfriend? That strange pressure in her voice made my breath catch. I've been low-key terrified of Anna since we were kids. That wild girl used to beat me up constantly. Once she made me play the Frog Prince and do over 400 frog jumps in a day. Just thinking about it made my legs twitch. Even though she couldn't see me, I still instinctively shook my head and said, no way, not a chance. She gave a cold snort. Really? Just that single word, with the upward lilt at the end, total intimidation. I scrambled to explain. It was just a random fling. Didn't mean anything. We already broke up. Anna chuckled softly. Come outside. I'm at your school gate. I jumped down from my bed and ran full speed to the gate. She stood near the security booth. Light makeup made her features look fresh and delicate. The black pleated skirt fell just above her knees, showing off her long legs, and her porcelain skin glowed under the sunlight. The moment her gaze landed on me, I immediately stood at attention like a soldier. She handed me a lunchbox. When I saw what was inside, I nearly burst with joy. This is Sue Auntie's famous Chow Mai Royale. Right. I thought she was still overseas. Did you seriously bring this back all the way from abroad? Anna scoffed, getting all excited over a bit of food. Huh. I couldn't wait. I popped one into my mouth. The familiar taste exploded on my tongue. I mean, of course I'm excited. It's been years since I last had this, I said, her voice lowered, as soft as a breeze brushing past my ear. Well, you're in luck. From now on, there's plenty more where that came from. I looked at her, and our eyes met, locked, just like that. Chapter 6. I lay on my dorm bed, staring at the ceiling for a long time, unable to snap out of it. I touched my right cheek, grinning like an idiot. The warmth of Anna's lips still lingered there. Just earlier, she suddenly stood on tiptoe and kissed me. Thinking about it made my chest burn. What did that even mean? I immediately went online and searched. What does it mean when a girl kisses you first? Netizens responded with gems like, she just wants you to spill gold coins. And another, bro, you were dreaming. I rolled my eyes. As I kept scrolling, one comment made me stop. Obviously, it means she likes you, likes me. Anna likes me. Chapter 7. After a completely sleepless night, I showed up at the sports field with panda eyes. Makoto was surrounded by a group of people, all fawning over him. Your dad's really generous. New laptop. New phone. Damn. Another chimed in. Yeah. Not like someone who's so stingy he couldn't even spend on his girlfriend. No wonder she dumped him. Someone else added. Willow was smart to pick Makoto. Now that's what you call a good match. Makoto patted the guy's arm like a saint. Hey now, don't say that. It's not George's fault he's poor. If we can help, we should. As soon as he said that, the bootlickers around him turned their noses up at me. Makoto added with a smirk. I've got some old clothes and pants I don't need. I'll give them to you later. And you can have the half-used shampoo in the bathroom too. That look on his face, like a nobleman tossing scraps to a beggar. He glanced at me smugly, as if waiting for me to break. I swear, that face was begging for a punch. Just then, a stir erupted at the school gate. My dad had arrived. Makoto rushed forward enthusiastically to help him out of the car. To everyone watching, the scene looked like the perfect father-son reunion. The bootlickers swarmed over too, all calling uncle like they meant it. My dad nodded politely at them. Makoto, clearly worried someone would say too much, quickly leaned toward my dad and said, let's head over there and sit for a bit. My dad held up a hand to block him, frowning. I'm here to see my son. Why are you tagging along? I couldn't help the smile tugging at my lips. My dad's voice wasn't exactly quiet. Everyone nearby heard it, and a wave of whispers swept through the crowd. Makoto stood frozen in place, completely embarrassed. I stepped forward and called out with a smile. Dad. My classmates stared at me in utter shock. Chapter 8. I put on an innocent face and asked, Dad, do you know Makoto? Before my dad could answer, Makoto clenched his fists and cut in. Of course he does. George, what's with the weird question? People around us started whispering. George must have gone crazy. Maybe he's just jealous of Makoto, another added. This is so embarrassing. Look at Chairman Wang's face, he's clearly pissed. But my dad just smiled and patted my shoulder, turning to my classmates. My son George has always been a handful. If he does anything out of line, I hope you'll forgive him. I'll treat everyone to a nice dinner sometime. The crowd gasped. They thought they'd misheard. Makoto's eyes widened in disbelief. Our bootlicker roommate even pulled out the infamous forum photo and, still clinging to hope, asked, Uncle, Aren't you Makoto's father? My dad glanced at the post, face darkening, and scolded. Makoto, I sponsored your education so you could study. This is what you've learned. Sponsored? The moment that word dropped, everyone's expression shifted. Makoto panicked and turned the blame on me. George, I didn't know you were Chairman Wang's biological son. Chairman Wang has always treated me well and even mentioned more than once that he hoped I could be like a son to him. If this upset you, I sincerely apologize. With just a few words, he tried to paint himself as the victim and stir sympathy, but my dad's eyes were cold now. When did I ever say something like that? Makoto bowed again and again. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. My dad's sharp gaze swept over him. Makoto, what I did say was this: you're a good kid, and your parents are lucky to have a son like you. That's what I actually said, isn't it? The crowd murmured. Chairman Wang never said any of that. Makoto was just fantasizing. Shameless. Stealing someone's dad to fake being rich, that's a new low. The words were like knives stabbing into Makoto's pride. He stumbled back a step, then fled the crowd in total humiliation. Suddenly, someone in the crowd shouted, "Wait a second, has anyone noticed that George Zilla Group is literally named after George?" I ignored the room full of brown-nosers and took my dad to sit at the VIP seats. He said, "George, I'm going to stop sponsoring Makoto." With a sigh, he added, "I never thought that sweet, sensible boy would turn out like this." I knew my dad had always placed high hopes on the kids he sponsored. Makoto was the first stain on that record. "I support you, Dad," I said firmly. Just as the words left my mouth, a lunchbox appeared in front of me. Anna had appeared beside me out of nowhere. Thinking about last night still felt like a dream. My dad chuckled knowingly, clearly picking up on the vibes between us. Anna blushed and said, "Today it's pineapple buns." I smiled. "Thanks, Anajigia." Just as I opened the box to take a bite, someone snatched it right out of my hand. When I saw who it was, I snapped. "Willow, are you insane?" Willow glared at Anna, full of suspicion. "George, who is she?" Then, with pure spite, she threw the pineapple bun to the ground. What the hell? I completely lost it. Smack! I slapped her across the face. She stumbled and hit the ground hard, grinding my teeth. I said, "Willow, I don't want to curse at you, but can you act like a human being for once? Touch my food again and I swear you won't see another day." Willow got up and clutched my arm. "George, I was wrong before. Makoto tricked me. Please give me another chance." I sneered, looking at her like the pitiful clown she was. "Oh, weren't you telling everyone I'm a stingy loser who wouldn't spend a cent on you?" She bit her lip, speechless. I continued, "Have some shame, will you? When we were together, I even paid for your freaking tampons. Every single day you came up with some excuse to squeeze money out of me. Even during Ancestor Worship Day, a festival for the dead, you asked for gifts. What's next? Want me to burn you 2 golden ingots in the afterlife?" By now, all the students had taken their seats, and I intentionally raised my voice. People whispered, "Can't believe Willow's that kind of person. She and Makoto really are a match made in hell. One's a gold digger who mooches off guys and trashes their names. The other's a fraud stealing someone's dad to pretend to be rich. Man, if it were me, I'd demand every single penny back from her. No way I'd let a gold digger off that easy." Someone added, "Exactly, George should take it all back." I raised an eyebrow. Not a bad suggestion. Willow shamelessly switched to full-on audacity mode and shouted, "The gifts are already given, there's no reason to take them back. George, as the heir to the George Zilla Group, you definitely wouldn't do something like that." "Oh, moral blackmail. As long as I have no morals, no one can blackmail me." Chapter 9. I said coldly. "Wow, Willow, you really are trash. You were already messing around with Makoto before we even broke up, weren't you?" Willow's eyes darted, avoiding my gaze, but she still tried to deny it. Then, her gaze shifted to Anna and she snapped back. "As if you didn't cheat on me first. Who's she?" "Your side chick." Seeing my fist nearly ready to fly again, our counselor stepped in and barked, "Willow, watch what you're saying. George is the heir to Wang Corporation, and that's Anna, daughter of President Su. Show some class and don't embarrass the school." Anna stood up, walked over, and casually wrapped her arm around mine. "I'm George's girlfriend. Got a problem with that?" Willow opened her mouth to argue, but when she caught the look in my eyes, like I was ready to throw hands again, she quickly shut up. After a few seconds, she muttered one last line, plain pitiful. "George, I know I was wrong before. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your forgiveness." But my mind was elsewhere. Wait a second, did Anna just say she's my girlfriend? I could barely contain the excitement bubbling inside me. I waved Willow off, annoyed. "Willow, get lost. Seriously, now." Chapter 10. While watching the sports events, my dad glanced down at the one remaining pineapple bun in my hand. He said, "Anna really knows your taste. You probably don't know this, but she learned to make that from her mom. I stared at Anna in disbelief. You made this? No wonder, it tasted exactly like Auntie Sue's. She nodded gently. As long as you like it. After the event, Anna and I walked out of the school hand in hand. I hesitated for a moment and asked, earlier, when you said you were my girlfriend, was that real or just to help me out? She stood on tiptoe, wrapped her arms around my neck, and kissed me again. Then she whispered, after all these years, you still haven't figured out how I feel. I shook my head. Honestly, no, I hadn't. Back then Anna used to train me like a dog. I didn't even dare to think she liked me. Anna pouted. Guess I've been using the wrong methods. When we got back to the dorm, the hallway was packed, and right at the door, there was Willow, kneeling on the ground in dramatic tears, putting on the biggest pity show of the decade. The moment she saw me, she scooted closer on her knees, sobbing. George, I was blind before. Can you please give me another chance? I hadn't seen someone so shameless in years. I frowned. Willow, dignity is a beautiful thing. Try wearing some next time you leave the house. But she didn't get mad, she just kept crying and begging. I know you still have feelings for me. I'll do anything if you forgive me. I rolled my eyes and thought for a second. Really? Then tell me, how can I trust you won't stab me in the back again? Willow's eyes lit up. She thought she had a shot. George, I'll prove it. However you want, I'll do it. I pulled out my phone and opened my payment QR code. Easy. First, pay me back for all the stuff I bought you. Willow hesitated. If I pay you back, will we really get back together? I was done. I closed my phone and turned to leave. She panicked and grabbed my arm. Okay, fine. I'll pay you back. Between marrying into a wealthy family and giving up a few grand, she knew which to choose. The sound of the payment notification rang out. Debt cleared. And the very next second, I shoved her away. Grinding my teeth, I snapped. Willow, go take a long hard look in the mirror. If I ever see your twisted little face again, I swear, I'll slap you every time. Willow, now truly pissed, blocked my path. What do you mean by that? I dare you to hit a girl in front of all these people. I didn't even bother arguing. Smack. Backhanded her right across the face. No one tried to stop me. In fact, the crowd broke into applause. Nice one. Willow realized she'd walked into a trap. She glared at me with pure hatred. I raised my hand again. Wanna go for round 2? She scrambled away, clutching her cheek. Turns out someone had filmed the whole scene and uploaded it online. Public outrage exploded over Willow's behavior. The school issued her a major disciplinary warning for her inappropriate conduct. Makoto wasn't spared either. He got dragged into the scandal and blasted on trending searches. Chapter 11. I never expected Makoto to team up with Willow and twist the whole truth, biting the hand that fed him. Makoto stood in front of the media and made up blatant lies. I want to expose something. On the surface, the Georgezilla group claims to sponsor underprivileged students out of goodwill, but I suspect it's for darker motives. They constantly sent me for health checkups and assigned me a personalized nutrition plan. At first, I didn't think much of it, until I realized even the tiniest issue, like a nosebleed, would get me dragged into their private hospital for a full body exam. Later, when I planned to study abroad after high school, they forbade me from leaving the country. That's when I realized I was just a capitalist's backup body. So I rebelled, and now, they're retaliating against me. The moment his statement dropped, online opinions became sharply divided. Georgezilla Group stock prices began to fall rapidly. In our office, Makoto's video played on the big screen. My eyes were cold as ice. My dad's face was grim. I turned to him and said, "Don't worry, I've got a way to deal with Makoto." He took a sip of tea. "I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried your mother's gonna see this and get all worked up again, then I'll be the one suffering when she takes it out on me." I grinned and exposed him. "You just don't want to end up kneeling on the washboard again." He coughed awkwardly. "Anna's still here. Give your dad a little dignity." Huh. Anna and I were holding hands, locked in our own little world. I ordered the Georgezilla Group's PR department to release an official statement. All of these accusations are defamatory, and we will pursue legal action against those responsible, including online trolls. Cyberbullying ruins lives, and a keyboard shouldn't be a shield for slander. Meanwhile, Willow tossed her phone on the table in front of Makoto. Panicked. "This has gone way too far. How are we supposed to fix this?" But Makoto didn't look worried at all. He smirked. "Relax. I've already hired internet trolls to control the narrative. As long as I stick to my story, Chairman Wang will have no choice but to beg me. Then we'll be the ones naming our price." Willow, comforted by his confidence, calmed down. She hadn't forgotten the humiliation she'd suffered the last couple of days. She muttered, "Once the pressure's high enough, I'll threaten George into getting back with me. Then I can marry into a rich family and finally become a real socialite." Chapter 12. The next day, the situation escalated even further. I called Willow and asked her to meet up. She looked at me arrogantly. "George, If you're willing to admit you were wrong, I might consider talking to Makoto on your behalf. I calmly pulled out a legal notice from my bag. Regarding the defamation you and Makoto spread about my father, we have all the evidence. Due to the damage you caused, including the stock drop, we'll be seeking compensation through legal channels. Willow broke on the spot. She grabbed the documents and shouted, "George, how can you be so heartless? After everything we've been through." I wasn't in the mood for her crap. I grabbed the glass of water from the table and splashed it in her face. "You've got jokes. You think you have the right to talk about everything we've been through." I grabbed my coat and headed upstairs to a private booth. Delivering the legal notice wasn't the real reason I was here. A few minutes later, a waitress came to ask about the bill. Pretending to trip, she accidentally bumped into Willow and subtly planted a listening device on her jacket. It matched the fabric perfectly, completely unnoticeable. The waitress came upstairs and gave me the signal. I handed her 2,000 yen in thanks. As I predicted, Willow panicked and rushed back to confront Makoto. She said, "George filed a lawsuit against us. He said he has proof." "Makoto, if you're going down, don't drag me with you." Makoto remained unfazed. "Willow, chill the hell out. As long as I stick to the story, and with the army of paid trolls I hired, they won't be able to fight back. We'll drown them in spit, one netizen at a time." Listening to their pathetic little drama, I saved the entire recording and forwarded it to our PR team. I also contacted his troll farm and got their chat logs. All of it went public. The internet blew up. Chairman Wang sponsored an ungrateful traitor. He turned around and spat in his face. He even dared to frame someone like that. What a vile human being. How can someone like that stay in Peking University? Kick him out. The school was under massive pressure. Given the severity of Willow and Makoto's actions, the university expelled them both. I went to the police and handed over all the evidence. When the authorities moved in to arrest them, they found Willow but no sign of Makoto. He ran. Chapter 13. I was on my way to class when suddenly, a cold blade pressed against my back. "Makoto, long time no see. Bet you never thought you'd end up in my hands." "Huh, George." He was still wearing that same outfit from the sports meet. It reeked. His hair was a mess. His face unshaven, a total wreck. I said flatly, "Makoto, are you trying to get yourself killed?" He jabbed the knife into my back. "I've got nothing to lose. Everyone's cursing my name online. My future's screwed. No job. No dignity. What am I supposed to be scared of now?" He suddenly yanked me backward, locking my arms behind me and dragging the blade across my face. "And hey, let's say it's 1 for 1. Your life for mine. Sounds like a good deal to me." I felt the warm trickle of blood run down my cheek. His movements caught the attention of nearby students. A girl took out her phone and immediately called the counselor and school authorities. I looked for an opening to break free. "Makoto," I said, "your family situation sucks." "Sure, but didn't my dad offer you a position at George Zilla Group? You could have easily made a living and taken care of your siblings." He snarled. "Shut up. A job? That joke of a position wasn't a job, it was a dead-end desk gig. Why do you get to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth? The heir to a billion-dollar company. And me, I have to beg for scraps from your family. Life's not fair." I shook my head. "Greed will swallow you whole." The counselor arrived and turned pale at the scene. "Makoto, let's talk." "Okay, if you're upset, we'll figure it out together. Just don't do anything stupid." Makoto snapped, waving the knife wildly. "Back off, or I'll kill him." The counselor made calming gestures. "Let's talk this through." Slowly, Makoto began ranting. "Why does George get all the school honors? Why is everything handed to him?" The counselor replied. "He earned all those awards. They're from citywide competitions. We don't get to decide the winners." "Makoto, put down the knife. Let's talk in my office." Makoto refused. He turned the blade toward the counselor. That was my chance. I grabbed his wrist, twisted it back hard. Clang, the knife dropped. Someone must have called the cops, because they arrived fast. As Makoto was dragged away, I looked into his eyes, rage and hate. He would never understand where he went wrong. I was sent to the school clinic to treat the cut on my face. The counselor stayed with me, worried I'd been traumatized. I reassured him. "I'm fine, really, don't worry." Suddenly, a figure rushed in, Anna. Her eyes scanned me head to toe. She looked genuinely shaken. I pointed at the gash on my face and joked, "This'll probably leave a scar. People might think I'm some gangster boss. You sure you're ready to be the boss's girl?" Anna gave me her answer with action. Good thing the counselor had just left, or I'd have died of second-hand embarrassment. I pinched her cheek gently to reassure her. "Does it hurt?" she asked, voice full of worry. I shook my head. "Just a scratch. I'm okay." Court day arrived. I sat quietly in the gallery. Plenty of witnesses had seen Makoto's attack. He was convicted quickly. 5 years in prison for attempted assault and defamation. He cussed everyone out, didn't care who was in front of him. Still playing the victim. Still crying for revenge. His elderly parents knelt before me in tears, begging for mercy. I said calmly, "Sir, ma'am, Makoto is getting what he deserves. If you do something wrong, you take responsibility for it." They had pinned their hopes on Makoto helping the family after graduation. Now, all of that, gone. As I walked out of the courthouse, I could still hear their sobs, but truth is, they shared the blame. Makoto became what he is today in part because they never taught him right from wrong. Willow, charged with defamation, was sentenced to 1 year in prison and fined $500,000. Her family wasn't wealthy to begin with, there was no way they could pay that. They had to sell their house just to cover her mess. Her mistake became their burden. Chapter 14. After graduation, I managed the company my father gave me with great efficiency. City A's business circle gained another, President Wang, one whose style was strikingly similar to his father, swift, decisive, no nonsense. 5 years later, my father officially handed over full control of George Zilla Group to me. He and my mother set off to travel the world, finally living the life of leisure they deserved. I glanced down at the invitation in my hand, another social dinner tonight. I slipped into a sleek black suit, understated yet elegant. My car pulled up in front of a 7-star hotel. The moment I stepped out, a hostess opened the door for me. "Welcome, sir." The voice was strangely familiar. I looked up, it was Willow. She looked pale and worn, all her youthful charm long gone. The moment she recognized me, she turned and fled like a ghost had just appeared. Inside, I smoothly navigated the social scene. When I saw Anna reaching for a glass of wine, I stopped her immediately, frowning. "Babe, you're not supposed to drink while we're trying for a baby." I handed her a glass of fruit juice instead. Laughter and teasing rippled through the crowd. "President Wang and Mrs. Wang are so sweet together. We're all jealous." I smiled at Anna. A few years ago, that kind of attention would have made me scratch my head awkwardly. Now, I was used to it. I responded smoothly. "Oh, Mrs. Chan, you're too kind. If anyone should be envied, it's you. Everyone in City A knows your husband treats you like royalty." After some polite small talk, Anna yawned. I escorted her out. Lately, she'd been feeling tired all the time, no matter how much she slept. Maybe it was just seasonal fatigue, I thought. At the hotel entrance, a commotion nearby caught my attention. "You idiot. I told you to stay at the door and greet guests. What were you thinking? Crying and throwing yourself on people's cars? Are you mentally unstable or something? Go get help. This is a workplace, not a charity." It was Willow, red-eyed and trembling. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'll pay for it." Her supervisor was furious. "Do you have any idea how much that car costs? Even if you worked for 10 years, you couldn't afford the damage." Willow didn't even dare look up. When the manager noticed me, he rushed over, bowing. "I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wang. The new hire didn't know better. She accidentally scratched your car. She'll pay for it." I frowned. "It's fine, forget it. It was just a mark, no big deal." More importantly, I didn't want to have anything to do with Willow anymore. As I got into the car, I faintly heard the manager say she'd been fired. Anna held my hand and pouted. "I'm so sleepy. Let's go home." "Okay." Something clicked in my mind. I said, "Babe, let's go to the hospital tomorrow." She nodded. "Okay." She knew what I was thinking because she was thinking it too. The next day, we went to the hospital for a checkup. While waiting for the results, my palms were sweaty from nerves. On my way to the restroom, I passed a hospital room and froze at what I heard. "You owe money. You pay up. Quit playing dumb." Peeking through the glass on the door, I saw a man lying in bed, one leg in a cast. Makoto. Another man stood over him, shouting threats. Turns out, after getting out of prison, Makoto had been obsessed with getting rich quick, but instead of success, he fell deep into gambling. As expected, he lost everything, including his family's last savings. Then came the loan sharks. Unable to pay, he tried to run. They caught him and broke his leg. "If I catch you trying to run again," the men growled. "It won't just be one leg next time." Makoto didn't fight back. After they left, he turned away, shoulders trembling in silence. Chapter 15. The test results came back. I stared at the word pregnant on the report. I was over the moon. Right there in the hallway, I lifted Anna up and spun her in circles.